Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again as we are out here in Shorewood at the Milwaukee Broad House. Come on out, say hi on Oakland Avenue, brought to you by, of course, Sun Cruiser, vodka, iced tea. Every time we are out and about here before these Brewers games, that is why we are out here. Got T-shirts, hats, koozies, got all kinds of fan merch as well, relief pitcher shirts, bucket hats, phone sockets, bags for you to get with the fan logos on it. Again, baseball calls for Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser is only 100 calories and 4.5% alcohol. Make it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise Milwaukee. Okay, so some news coming out here from the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll get to our green and gold update. Ryan Horvat will join us coming up here in 15 minutes as well from BetMGM tonight. I think Thunder's going to be out here before the end of the show at 5 o'clock. Mitch Nellis will be out here. Looking forward to that. This email comes from the Brewers. Major League Baseball announced that Sal Frelick has been named the Brewers 2025 nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award, one of baseball's most prestigious individual honors acknowledging community and philanthropic commitment. Frelick's first time receiving the honor. Everybody's wearing 21 tonight in honor of Roberto Clemente, which is pretty cool. A 21 tribute patch. Frelick will wear 21 on his uniform, as will Churio, Monasterio, Yelich, Contreras, Vaughn, Payams, Julio Bourbon, Abner Uribe, Freddie Peralta, Quintana, Christian Carrera, Nestor Corredor. Can I ask you a question? Why wouldn't you just have the whole team wear 21? Why are there only certain players wearing 21? Why wouldn't everybody agree to wear 21? Is that crazy to me? Why would that be?
I'm pretty sure it's only players that have been nominated or are of Hispanic descent. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
All right, very good. So that explains it. That's why I'm glad I asked my guy Charlie here. In the press release, says Frelick has been committed to making an impact within the Milwaukee community through his exceptional character, dedication to community service, and unwavering commitment to philanthropy. I can't even say that word. Frelick continues his longstanding support for Best Buddies, a nonprofit organization promoting inclusion for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. His involvement reflects a personal commitment that began in high school and has grown throughout his professional career.
Specifically, Puerto Rican descent, actually.
Puerto Rican descent.
Yep.
Okay.
And then everybody else has the option, too.
Right. So there you go. Why wouldn't you just all do it? I don't. It's Roberto Clemente, for God's sakes. Like, what's the issue with Roberto Clemente? You wouldn't want to wear his number out on the baseball field. So there's your update on that for the Brewers. Don't forget, 5 to 6:30 out here at the Milwaukee Broad House in Shorewood. Tommy Wirtz will be out here with the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here from Pat Murphy from before the game. Get your starting lineups. Andrew Wagner will check in one more time. Hopefully, Tommy does not melt down when Wagner tells him about the idea of Mizorowski possibly not being on the divisional playoff roster like I did earlier in the show. Austin Herdenia from the Potawatomi Sportsbook could give you his parlay of the day as well. That's 5 to 6:30 out here at the Milwaukee Broad House in Shorewood.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan with Steve Sparky Fifer.
Okay, let's have this conversation now about the Green Bay Packers and injuries that the Packers are dealing with coming up to this game against Cleveland on Sunday. Now, again, Joe Flacco is playing for the Cleveland Browns. He's the starter, so that's nothing but good news for the Packers because he's not that mobile, which means if you get to him, you get him. Similar to, Jared Goff. If you get to him, you get him too. Can't say the same thing about Jaden Daniels, but from a Packers defensive perspective, this makes it a lot easier to take on a stationary quarterback right now, I think, if you're the Packers. Having said that, the offense is where all the issues lie. Got some updates yesterday from the Green Bay Packers, one of which concerning Christian Watson, who by all indications is going to take his time in coming back, making sure he is right, making sure he is ready to come back and play. The luxury they're going to have is if this team has lost no games, let's say, by the time you come out of that bye week, right, which means they win Cleveland, they beat Dallas, bye week, then it's the Bengals, no Joe Burrow, so don't need them there. You can wait there as well. I mean, you might get to 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and really have no pressure to bring him back because you're winning at a high rate. The more games they win, the less games they lose, the longer you can wait on bringing Christian Watson back to make sure he's completely healthy, make sure everything is right and ready to roll, and then you bring Christian Watson back and full play and be ready for the postseason. I have no qualms with this whatsoever if they decide to slow play Christian Watson where, yeah, he could have been back in week 6, but we waited to week 9. I'm back, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't want to rush Christian Watson back at all at this point. The offense looks fine. The defense looks like the best in the league. I mean, me and Mitch were going through the power rankings earlier on Middays with Thunder, and we saw that the Packers, really the lowest on any media outlet that we saw them ranked was 4. Other than that, It was 3s and a couple 1s that like Yahoo Sports had them at number 1. And because of that, I don't want to rush any kind of injury back out onto the field unless you are positive that player can play. I think we got reports of Zach Tom being able to at least be more day-to-day than a game-time decision at this point. And that is good news because I feel like Zach Tom can play through the oblique injury that he's dealing with. This is a very different situation for Christian Watson, who's going through another really hard injury to work your way back from. And he's come back fast at this point. He looks like he's going to be able to at least start running routes here in the next couple of weeks. That's really exciting for a guy like Christian Watson to be able to get some live rep actions this early into that rehab process. At the same time, a guy like Christian Watson, who's had these similar type of really bad injuries, should not rush anything in order to avoid any other bad injuries coming here as he gets older.
The other part about this, too, is if you've ever had an injury of any kind, especially if you play a sport that is violent, right? So hockey, football, rugby, whatever, right? Any type of violent sport where there's a lot of contact, physical contact, you're going to question said knee, said ankle, said hamstring, whatever the injury is, until you're out there on the field and you take that first hit, right? Until you take that first hit and then you're like, am I good? All right, I'm good. Let's go, right? And then you go. But until you get that first pop, that first hit out of the way, you're probably still second guessing and maybe protecting it a little bit and don't want to get re-hurt. And you're kind of thinking about it. And everybody can look in a camera and say, no, that's not true. I'm telling you, from having known a ton of athletes in my life, it is true. Everybody goes through that same thing, Charlie.
Definitely. I think anybody coming back from, again, an injury that a guy like Christian Watson has gone through here is going to take a little while to get back to true football playing form. You're going to want to avoid some hits. You're not going to want to run a couple of routes that really put stress on your knee or even on your calf at this point, because you're probably going to be babying that knee a little bit. There's going to be times where he's overcompensating with his opposite leg, and it's going to make his routes look slower. It's going to make him look less athletic on a jump ball because he is going to be working through this. What I think is a good sign for Christian Watson is that when we've seen him come back from injuries like this in the past, it is like that for a game or two, but he tends to get his confidence back up quicker than I think some other players do in that same similar type of situation.
The other part about this is we were talking about the offensive lineman, and we touched on this a little bit yesterday as well. Anytime you're talking about an oblique injury, I feel like those don't ever stop. Those kind of linger all year throughout an entire season, whether you're talking about it being basketball, you're talking about it being football. You know where you don't really hear about oblique injuries? Basketball. Now, why is that? Why do I hear about oblique injuries in baseball? I hear about oblique injuries in football, but I do not hear about oblique injuries in basketball nearly as much as I do in the other two sports. You're the athlete, Charlie. Explain.
I think it's just the type of movement that you're using your body for. I think in baseball, you have that twist of the swing or the twist of the throw where you're straining it more so. It's not stretching, it's straining that muscle on that side of your back. In basketball, it's a lot more forward movement. It's a lot more stress on the legs than it is on the upper body. In football, I think you get a mixture of both. And in certain positions, like I talked about with Mitch earlier, and I said yesterday as well, For like offensive linemen, it's not that big of a deal. But for a linebacker who has to throw his body around, has to stretch and bend with the running backs when they're running through you, that is an issue for a player like that. So I think it's just kind of differs for each sport and the type of movement that you're using in each sport.
The other part about this too is we talk about the idea of coming back from an injury. I don't think it's any different. The idea of an offensive lineman coming back and rushing him versus a wide receiver coming back and rushing him. So as much as, we say slow play Christian Watson, don't bring him back, I think the idea of slow playing Zach Tom against Cleveland makes a lot of sense. I think slow playing, the guard, Banks as well. Banks has been hurt nonstop. Like, since he signed, the man has been hurt nonstop. So if you want to put him in bubble wrap and bring him back after Cincinnati, I'm cool with it. Now, I know I saw you kind of shake your head like, I don't know about this whole slow play thing with Zach Tom, because it's Cleveland. It's Myles Garrett. It's a pretty good defense by the Cleveland Browns. But as I said yesterday, and I'll say again, it's the right tackle. Jordan Love can see if that guy gets beat. If Belton gets beat at right tackle, I'll see him get beat. I can get out of the way. That's a lot different than if it's on my backside and Rasheed Walker or Jordan Morgan miss a block and I get crushed from behind. That's why I'm okay slow playing this, I guess, to this degree. The other thing, too, you could do, and I don't know how common this really is, but what if you go to Zach Tom and say, hey, man, look, we don't want to play you. We really don't. But just to protect ourselves, we're going to put you on the active roster. We're going to suit you up. We have no intention of putting you in. But if things get out of hand over here at right tackle, we may be forced to put you in for the third quarter or the fourth quarter or whatever, but we're going to give them some run here. I don't know if that ever happens. I can't tell you that I've ever remember the Packers doing something like that where you activate a starter knowing you don't want to play him, but a little hesitant about what's out there and want him available if you have to play him, but you're hoping you don't have to and you can keep him another week.
I feel like you're too early in the season to be doing that, especially with a player like Zach Tom. I think if you are going to play him, he should know that prior to the game, and it shouldn't be in an emergency situation where it could take him a while to get warmed up.
That's true.
I think you want him to be at his best, both mentally and physically, as best as he can be in those moments in order to play in a game like that. And I think a team also like the Cleveland Browns, if you start losing to the Cleveland Browns, I think it's more so they got you for that game, and you move on to the next week and you focus on teams that are going to be a bigger issue for you moving forward here. I think you got those 2 wins against NFC North potential playoff opponents in the first couple of weeks, and you should take that and say, you know what, that is as best of a start as we can get. If we blow a game to an AFC North opponent that is probably not going to be a playoff team at this point, you know what, we can take that loss compared to the other 2 wins that we got.
He is Charlie Houston, see Sparky Fifer over here, talking about the latest in the Packer injuries and what's going on there, and whether or not you kind of bring these guys back in a hurry or you want to slow play them because of just how good and how dominant you have been to this point. I tend to lean towards the slow playing of that. Out here at the Milwaukee Broadhouse in Shorewood, brought to you by Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka, refreshingly smooth and easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It's a perfect game day sipper. Take the shells to and from the game here at the Milwaukee Broadhouse in Sherwood. They start 2 hours before game time. They run till the parking lots are clear at American Family Field. And as far as getting there, they run all the way up to the second inning. So you're like, oh, man, I can't get to Milwaukee Broadhouse until like 6:15 or so. I'm going to miss the last shuttle over there if the game starts at like 6:40 or whatever the case may be. Have no fear. They run all the way up to the second inning, so you can hop on a shuttle here in the Milwaukee Broadhouse in Shorewood whenever you would like. Coming up next, we're going to catch up with Ryan Horvat of BetMGM tonight. He'll join us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 157 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Speaking of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, folks, I'm telling you right now, that's where you're going to want to be, man. Pro games, college games, wherever the case may be. You're talking about a 2,000 square foot center screen, 2,000 square feet, 30 sporting events you can watch at one time. Now, as I always say, the Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen is amazing, right? You have an all-day brunch. You got homemade pastries and desserts. You've got burgers, wings, salads, whatever the case may be you want, they have it right there. 48 beers on tap, a dozen different specialty cocktails at the Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen. As I always say, especially at this time of year, Reserve your seat ahead of time. Go to potawatomi.com/sportsbook. There is a nominal fee, but that goes towards your food and beverage bill that you're going to have while you're there. So really, it doesn't cost you anything. So take care of it right now. Reserve ahead of time if you plan on going down there to watch college or pro games or any games during the course of the week. potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Ryan Horvat straight ahead here on The Fan. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's out here at the Milwaukee Broad House. Shorewood right here on Oakland Avenue. Come on out, take their shuttles to and from the game. They start 2 hours before the game. Takes you all the way up to, the second inning is when they stop running, so plenty of time for you still to get out here. First pitch, 6:40 today. Tommy Wirtz is already out here, the big old hunk of love. The huggable one, as he called himself, very huggable. Coming on here, meet Tommy Wirtz. He's out here 5 to 6:30, and he'll be doing the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Mitch Thunder Nellis, he'll be out here coming up in about 20 minutes or so. I believe that's what Charlie told me, right? You said around 4:40 or so for Thunder?
That's kind of what we were expecting. Yeah.
Yep. So Thunder will be out here around 4:40. He'll come hang out with us for the last segment. Right now, efforting Ryan Horvat of BetMGM tonight. He's scheduled to join us here. Now, Ryan Horvat, I really can't wait to get this dude on, because this dude here has been obviously a Packers fan his whole life, right? But he grew up in Illinois, so it's a weird deal that you would be a Packer fan. Used to be here on the station doing mornings with Bart Winkler back in the day and so forth. But this guy here, when I was doing my Curtin Long podcast, I was doing it with him, with Ryan Horvat, and this dude was always about the last 2 or 3 years. It started with Justin Fields, and now we're here with Caleb Williams. It's been about, man, this is going to be the year that you're going to want to bet the Bears. The Bears are going to turn it around this year. Here comes the Bears offense this year. And finally, the last time I talked to Ryan Horvat, the last time we had him on, I was like, dude, are you a closet Bears fan? Like, let's be honest. Let's have this conversation. Like, are you kind of a closet Bears fan and you've been, I'm Packers, but kind of like in the back of you, because maybe your boys are Bears fans and all that stuff, maybe you're kind of like more pro Bears than what everybody realizes, right? So like when Rami Macklaw fills in for me here on The Fan, that dude's a Bears fan. Charlie, who produces for me, Charlie Usage, Chicago Charlie, that dude's a Bears fan. I question about Ryan Horvat. Now, Horvat is a guy, when he comes on here, because he's been pro Bears off season. This is going to be the beer the Bears take off. Bet the Bears, bet the Bears, bet the Bears. Okay, so now we're going to see where Ryan Horvat is on his precious Chicago Bears, right? He joins us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, here on Wisconsin Sports Daily with yours truly, Steve Sparky Fifer, out here at the Milwaukee Broad House in Shorewood. Ryan Horvat, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, except for I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. I've been trying to sign on so everybody could see my pretty face on the computer, and it wouldn't work. So luckily, Charlie gave me a call. I'm ready to go. I heard the slander.
That's not slander. No, it's not slander. No. You have been pro Bears every offseason for like the last 4 years, Horvat. Every offseason. And every offseason, I tell you, no chance, not happening. And here we are again this year. You were pro Bears again. Here we go. It's going to be their year. Well, we're 2 weeks in. They just gave up 52. So are you willing to come sliding down the other side of that hill again?
They don't look very good right now. Week 1, it started off pretty good. All the scripted stuff looked good. And then in the second half, they completely fell apart. And I blame Caleb Williams for that loss because there were throws to be made. Ben Johnson did a pretty solid job keeping guys wide open. Caleb, just for whatever reason, couldn't make the throws. And then in the second half, week 1, Ben Johnson got circles coached around him, but he was going against Kevin O'Connell, in my opinion, a top 3 head coach, the reigning coach of the year. So just an epic collapse from the Bears. And then week 2, terrible spot, man, because you could see Detroit really wanted to lay it on them. And it makes sense. I think Green Bay is going to want to do the same thing because Ben Johnson, usually you don't see a head coach get his first job and have the offseason that he did where he was running his mouth a lot, man. He's a cocky guy. And now everybody saved those press clippings and highlighted all of his quotes. So I won't be surprised if Green Bay tries to put it on him, if Detroit tries to put on him again. So it looks like it's going to take Ben Johnson some time. I still do like the hire. I think it's going to take him some time just because that defense is bad right now, and they're all beat up in the secondary. So, yeah, it looks like I'm a big dummy for picking them to win 9 games. I didn't think they were going to win the NFC North this year, but I thought that they could at least be a wild card team and realize, hey, we got our guy at the quarterback position. But I don't know, man. All my buddies that are Bears fans, it's so funny, Sparky, because last year before the Jacksonville game, I think they were like 4-2, and they beat up on Jacksonville, and Caleb threw for like 262 yards and 3 touchdowns. And all my friends are like, first ballot Hall of Famer, the next Mahomes. We finally got it right. On Sunday, I got a text message from my cousin, and he goes, I can't believe it. The Bears not only got it wrong, but they got the worst guy in the draft. And I laughed because I thought about it, right? And J.J. McCarthy beats Caleb Williams 2 weeks ago. Bo Nix, starting quarterback for a playoff team last year, although I don't think he's very good either. Jaden Daniels he's already played in an NFC Championship game. He's the reigning Rookie of the Year. He looks like the real deal. Drake May, coming off finally, he gets a win for the Patriots. Maybe Caleb is the worst of them all, which is Michael Penix has looked pretty good. So maybe Caleb ends up being the worst of them all, but we'll see. Time will tell. I do like the Bears to win this week against Dallas. I think there's going to be like 70 points scored in that game. Both defenses are terrible. They go back home to Soldier Field. I think Ben Johnson gets his first win, but I think a good year for them, man, is maybe a 7-win, 8-win season and just thinking or figuring out if Caleb is the guy or not.
I'll tell you this much. If Dallas throws 50 on them, what then? What then do they do? Because they extended Ryan Poles for no good reason. They should have waited till he at least had a year to where they were competent and looked good. They extended him based on an offseason, Ryan. That is a history of that organization. They got good offseasons, and then they suck in the regular season.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's why losing organizations, they stay losers, right? I mean, there's a reason. And that's the Bears in a nutshell right now. It's been a mess. I mean, Ryan Pace was there. He drafts Mitchell Trubisky over not only Pat Mahomes, but Deshaun Watson. And I know it didn't work out for Watson, but he had a good 4 or 5 years where he looked like one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Trubisky's a career backup. And then you hire this guy. You draft Justin Fields. And Justin Fields, week 1 with the Jets was pretty good. Week 2, now he gets concussed and gets knocked out. That's his issue. He can't stay healthy. But they never give him a fair shake. He was playing behind the worst offensive line in the league with a terrible play caller, a bad defense. The Bears have just been a mess, and you thought maybe they finally got it right. Because I did like the coaching hires they made. I like Ben Johnson, I think. I like Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator, not so much a head coach. You bring in Eric Bieniemy to coach the running backs, and Randall L. to coach the receivers, but yet still, they look terrible. And then you see like the highlights on social media or the clips of Caleb Williams down 4 scores, smiling on the sidelines. Imagine if that was Green Bay and that was Brett Favre back in the day, or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Packers are losing and he's smiling on the sidelines. We got mad enough when he was moping on the sidelines, or he was angry because he wanted to win so bad. Caleb Williams is having a good old time on the sideline, and the opposing team just hung 50 on him.
I'm telling you, listen,
who knows,
let's just clear this up. I've talked about this in the past. These dudes aren't at the same level as fans, man. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to everybody. They're just not. Major League Baseball players specifically play every day. They cannot be on a roller coaster of emotions like fans every single day. The NBA plays 82 games. Same thing. Can't be on the roller coaster of emotions. And even, I'm not saying every football player doesn't care as much of a fan, but there are a lot of guys that it's a job. I'm getting paid. I'm going to cash my check. It's going to be okay. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. We'll get better. We'll figure it out for next week. It's not end of the world stuff, where some fans are like not talking to their family for the rest of the day if they lose, are all pissed off on social media, screaming and yelling, are in a bad mood all week at work because their favorite football team lost. Like, a majority of these players do not hold on to losses like us, like we do. Just doesn't happen.
No, they don't. And you know what always makes me laugh, man, is, and that's why I get a kick out of, like, you know, when people want these guys to, like, stick up for the team, or people were mad at Micah Parsons a couple of years ago because he wasn't wearing Cowboys gear. He had an Eagles hat on or something like that. And it's like, I laugh in college football when all these kids, they go to like 4 different schools in 4 years, but then there they are at Ohio State, Michigan, and they're fighting on the 50-yard line for pride and for team pride. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is your 3rd college. You didn't want to go to Ohio State growing up. You're just fighting just to fight. I think it's funny. But, hey, really quick point on the Bears. So I think this is a great thing for the Green Bay Packers because they look like legit Super Bowl contenders. They should be the favorites right now in the NFC, especially with all these injuries piling up on the Niners.
Philly.
I'll get to but here's the thing, man. I don't think Philly's as good this year. In fact, I think Philly loses this week to the Rams. If you look at Philly on the offensive side of the ball, they're averaging almost 2 yards less per play, and the defense has given up almost 2 yards more per play. Quinyon Mitchell's awesome. But the other side of that secondary of that pass defense, you could
What happened to Cooper DeJean? What happened to him?
He's great. They're playing him as a nickel and more as like a safety and like a linebacker. He's like the Kyle Hamilton. So he's really good, but they're playing that other kid at corner. And he's a liability right now. So I think Green Bay could get Philly this year. You want home field advantage. You want them at Lambeau, obviously. I know we always say that. It doesn't matter. But this year I think it
doesn't
will.
Matter.
With Micah Parsons and that defense, I think it will matter. But the good thing is, so my buddies, like our producer of the show, Brandon, he's like, man, whatever you say when NFL football, like, you're the best at predicting things. Last year, I told everybody the Niners weren't going to make the playoffs, that the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl. He's like, the only thing you're always wrong on, and it's making me wonder if you're just jinxing us, is the Bears. And maybe that is what I'm doing, because every year I pick the Bears to be relevant, and every year somehow they get even worse. I'm not worried about the Vikings with all their injuries. I'm not worried about Detroit, even though they hung 50 on the Bears. I think that says more about the Bears' defense. Here's how you know Dan Campbell ain't it. That quote, week 1, I was relieved when I found out the Green Bay Packers traded Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons, a top 5 edge rusher in the prime of his career. Look at that Green Bay defense right now. The reason I love the Micah Parsons trade, and I'm sure you've said this on the show or other smart people have, is it allows all these first-round picks to just go out and be themselves. Now Rashawn Gary could go out there and be Rashawn Gary. I think he's going to have a double-digit sack season. If I had to play a Defensive Player of the Year ticket, I would take Rashawn Gary over Micah Parsons. He's playing every
stop.
Right
Get out of here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because Parsons is going to see a ton of double teams, a ton of chips. You have to focus so much on him that that's going to open up that other side for Rashawn Gary. He better have 12 sacks this year. He's always really good against the run. Van Ness is finally going to look like a first-round pick. How about Wyatt? So that's what I like about you bringing a guy like Parsons. That makes people in that locker room believe that they're Super Bowl contenders, and also it frees everybody else up. Also, our biggest worry, Spark, coming into the year was the secondary. You know how you fix the leaky secondary? You get the best pass rusher. Now quarterbacks only have 2 seconds in the pocket to make that split decision. And I still think Green Bay, if they want, could go out and get a corner, could add some offensive line help. I know it's not the Major League Baseball trade deadline, but players will be available. So I feel really good about Green Bay, better than I thought, because the Bears look like a project. The Vikings look like a project. And I'm not there with Detroit, man. They're going to win 10 games at the most this year. So it's Green Bay's division, luckily, because the Bears are so bad and stupid.
Who is Bill Zimmerman?
Bill Zimmerman is the executive producer of You Better You Bet. And I think he does a good job covering the Bears on his podcast. I don't know the name of it because I'm not a Bears fan. Contrary to what you're telling people, Spark, I do not like the team.
WC Gridiron? Or something like that. Windy City Gridiron.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should pray for him, boy. That dude, he is, I can't even imagine. I can't. First of all, let me read you this tweet that he sent out. I read this yesterday. This was after Sunday's game. Ryan Poles will have a 28.3% winning percentage. That's 4.8 wins per season. He was extended. If the ownership of this franchise continues to accept mediocrity from its top positions at House Hall, the Bears will continue to flounder. You are so warped in the brain as a Bears fan that you think 4 wins a season is mediocre when they play 17, Ryan.
Well,
how is that mediocre? That is awful.
I didn't hear one person, even the biggest Bear fans and the people that loved this offseason, the people that were, predicting them to win the NFC North or to at least be a playoff team, none of them understood the move of extending.
I got somebody. And Charlie, we got to go back and find it. David Hall of The Score, Mullion Hall. He was on with us that afternoon when that news came out, or just after that news came out. And I was like, extended him for what exactly? And he went on this whole thing defending why they extended him and why it made sense for the Bears. I thought it was dumb at that point. I still think it's dumb.
I worry a little bit, and I love David, but I feel like some guys in Chicago, especially if it comes to the Bears or the Chicago Cubs, want to say all the right things because they don't want to be. So now I'm not going to throw a name out there, but it's a credible reporter in Chicago. And I heard that he was at, obviously, training camp, OTAs. He watched every single Caleb Williams drop back this summer, and he wrote about how Caleb just couldn't hit a target, man, right? Like we saw the social media video where he throws his arms up in the air like he's a 5th grader because he's so irritated that he's not accurate. And it's so weird because that was not his issue at Oklahoma or USC. His issue was, the thing I thought they had to correct was he holds on to the ball way too long. He tries to make those backyard playground style plays, and you can't do that in the National Football League with 6'3" edge rushers trying to chase you down that run 4.3, 4.4s. But I don't know where this accuracy stuff came from, man. Guys are wide open. He can't make the throws, but I guess this has been going on since June. And I heard a couple people in the Bears on the Bears PR team went up to this reporter and were like, "Hey, what's up with all these articles about Caleb?" And he's like, just reporting on what I'm observing, right? Like, he isn't very accurate right now. And I guess they were all bent out of shape about it, man. Like, worried, why is this coming out? Or why are you reporting on Caleb? So this has been a problem all summer long. And they're worried right now in Chicago. Yeah, they're worried right now in Chicago. And the Bears do not want you reporting about it. And it makes sense, but that's Bush League. That's Little League stuff right there.
BetMGM tonight's Ryan Horvat joins us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook at the Milwaukee Broadhouse, Shorewood. Come on out, hang out with us right here on Oakland Avenue. They got Brewer shuttles to and from the game. 2 hours before the game, they start running all the way up to the second inning of the game. Brewers and Angels tonight. And then they take you right back here to the Milwaukee Broadhouse in Shorewood, all the way to the lots are cleared. So make sure to hop on those Brewer shuttles to and from the game out here at Milwaukee Broadhouse. Thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea for having us out here. Ryan, I want to get your thoughts on one other thing here, and that is the world of college football as we look at it right now. Do you think there are a couple of teams that have separated themselves? Because as much as everybody wanted to hop on the Arch Manning Texas bandwagon, At this point, I think he was completely overhyped.
Man, if he had a different last name, if his last name wasn't Manning, I don't know that he could beat the starting quarterback right now at Rice. 10 straight incompletions, booed off the field by his own fans.
Deservedly so.
There's a reason why, man, Quinn Ewers was playing last year, right? Like when Paul Feinbaum and all these SEC guys were calling for Arch, there's a reason why Steve Sarkisian was like, nope, Quinn Ewers is the guy.
Yeah, but the thing is with Feinbaum, like, was Feinbaum getting fed this from Arch Manning himself? Not Arch Manning, from the Mannings themselves, trying to get Feinbaum to promote, Arch Manning. I bet you there was some of that going on as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. But eventually we were all going to figure out that the kid can't play. He can't make the throws. So I'm not there with Texas. The teams I like, so Penn State has not looked very good, but they haven't played anybody. They're playing like Villanova and all these FCS schools. Big game coming up for them next week. They get Oregon. They also get Ohio State. They were my pick to win it all just because they bring everybody back. I'm not a big James Franklin guy, but last year I wasn't a big Ryan Day guy, but I like the hires they made with Chip Kelly. Jim Knowles was calling the defense. Well, now Jim Knowles left Ohio State. He's the defensive coordinator at Penn State. I really like Andy Kotelnicki, the play caller. Drew Aller, it's a big year for him if he wants to be a first-round pick. They brought back both starting running backs. So I still like them, but I've been more impressed, Spark, with Ohio State, with the win over Texas. The defenses look really good. I thought the defense would take a step back because Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator. Turns out he's really good at that job. He's just not an NFL head coach. The Julian Sayin kid has got better every week. He's a 5-star freshman. And their wide receivers are just so loaded. Jeremiah Smith is going to be a top 10 pick. Carnell Tate is going to be a first-round pick. That's wide receiver U. So I like Ohio State, and I think people are sleeping on Oregon. They have a top 5 offense right now. They're scoring 70 against everybody. And I just think Dan Lanning's a great coach. And eventually, he is going to win a national title. I bet it today because I feel like that's the team nobody's talking about is Oregon. I know they lost a lot, but every year they bring in a lot through the portal, and they recruit nothing but 5-stars. And again, Dan Lanning's a great coach, and I like the schedule. So those are the 2 Big Ten teams I like. And then in the SEC, I like Georgia. I was more impressed with Tennessee than I thought I would be. They took them down to the wire. They almost won that game. But I think Georgia really grew up in that game, especially their quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, who really, this is his freshman year. And he made that great throw to beat Tennessee. So I really like them. And I feel like Kirby's going to be extra motivated because he hasn't won it in a while. And then in the Big 12, I'm going back to my Utah Utes. I bet them to make the college football playoff. I bet them to win the Big 12. Even last year, they only won 5 games because they had a ton of injuries, Spark, but they had a top 20 defense. This year, they have one of the better defenses in the country, and they have a legit Heisman candidate at the quarterback position. His name is Devin Dampier. I really like them this weekend against Texas Tech. Whoever wins that game, I think wins the Big 12. But if I had to make a pick today, I think the best value is on Oregon. Nobody's talking about them for some reason, and they're just beating the heck out of teams right now. And their quarterback, Dante Moore, looks like a future NFL pro.
All right, we'll find out how this all plays out. Ryan Horvat, thank you so much for coming on, man. Truly appreciate it, and we will talk to you, I'm sure, throughout the rest of the season.
I'm surprised you didn't ask me about your Colts, who I love, by the way. I think they win the AFC South, and Danny Dimes looks like they're – you just beat the Broncos.
They suck.
Indiana
I don't
Jones.
care. I don't care who they beat.
Right,
this isn't real, Horvat. Don't buy into this crap. Daniel Jones is not real. This isn't real. It's going to implode, and then we'll be back to Anthony Richardson again, who you loved coming out of college. So,
no way. Danny Dimes.
Mark my words. We'll be stuck with Richardson again. This will never last. Either he'll get hurt, and that'll end it, or he'll turn back into Daniel Jones again. But this isn't going to last a full season. No chance.
Oh, it will. It will. Mr. Negative. They'll beat the Titans this week. They'll start 3-0. Enjoy the games this weekend.
Take care. There he is, Ryan Horvat. Again, BetMGM tonight on the BetMGM Radio Network. Joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Steve Sparky Fifer with you again out here at the Milwaukee Broadhouse in Shorewood. Come on out, hang with us right here on Oakland Avenue. Shuttles to and from Brewers games. Shuttles start 2 hours before game time. Shuttles run all the way to the lots are cleared out. Shuttles will take you to the Brewers game all the way up to the second inning. If you're wanting to hop on, you could take any of that. Oh, there's guys out here. Sorry. I got distracted, Charlie. That's what happens. I saw a guy asking if he could have some stuff here. You can absolutely have some stuff here. No question about that as well.
Lots of great stuff.
Lots of great stuff. Got the relief pitcher fan T-shirts out here. We got the bucket hats. We got pop sockets. Got the fan bags out here as well. Sun Cruiser stuff, koozies, shirts, hats. all kinds of stuff. You can come out here, take advantage of all that fun stuff. I have still not seen Mitch Thunder Nellis. I have not seen Thunder. So we'll see if Thunder makes an appearance today or not. He's a very busy man, right? He's got kids, a family. He's running around helping to coach that and assistant coach that and do all this fun stuff. He's not cold and lonely. So he's got a lot of stuff going on. So we may or may not see Thunder before we get out of here at 5 o'clock. I do know this. Tommy Wirtz is here. The big old hunk of love will be here from 5 until 6:30 with the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Getting ready for Brewers baseball coming up today. You'll hear from Pat Murphy from before today's game. Checking with Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports Brewers writer. Go inside the clubhouse, brought to you by Focus Baseball as well. And we'll get the parlay of the day from the sportsbook manager over there at Potawatomi coming up a little bit later in the show, too. So looking forward to all of that. One more segment to go here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Things that we missed, straight ahead. Back, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM on 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Fifer here at the Milwaukee Broad House in Shorewood on Oakland. Come on out and hang out with us. Brought to you by Sun Cruiser, vodka, iced tea, 100 calories. That's all we're talking about. 100 calories is all. So I kind of say it's kind of healthy, a little bit. It's kind of healthy. So come on out, take advantage of that. And again, shuttles to and from Brewers games. They start 2 hours before the game, and it goes all the way up to the second inning they'll take you. And then after that, then you have the situation of coming back. They keep sending the shuttle there till the parking lots are cleared. So it's not even like a time deal. You can go whenever you want. If you're watching on YouTube, and you can watch us on YouTube, search The Fan Milwaukee. legendary caller to the fan for all these years. I believe this is the first time you've had a headset on and been on the radio with any of us, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. Ram joins us live and in living color out here at the Milwaukee Broad House. We talked about this on the radio. I said, come on, man. You got to figure out a way to get out here, Ram. I want to meet Ram. You called in our station for what, 15, 20 years?
At least that long.
Yeah.
About 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And you said you live over here in the neighborhood and you got some cool stuff going on with Running Rebels. Tell everybody about Running Rebels.
Well, Running Rebels right now, we got a thing we're doing for boys and girls basketball preseason, and we do some we call preseason training.
All right.
And then we work with the academics, make sure they stay eligible.
That's great.
And then we work on the 5 skill sets. So, boys and girls basketball start officially November 10th for the girls.
Okay.
And November 17th for the boys. So
it's coming up quick?
Oh, yeah. Like days. We count the days now. I want to say it's like around 67 days. Some days go pretty fast.
Yeah. Run Rebels, great organization, great deal with something they do. Back in the day, we used to give them some of the toys because there would be access to toys some years with the toy drive. And they would take some of the toys for everybody over there at Running Rebels. That's how I learned about them.
Right.
Just a great, great organization. Mike McGivern, big time Mike McGivern, introduced me to those guys years ago and really appreciate that. All right, man. So you're out here. Let's talk, get your thoughts a little bit on the situation with the Milwaukee Brewers. We talked about this earlier, Ram, about this 1 seed versus 2 seed thing and how big of a deal is it really in your mind. 1 seed right now as it sits, you play Cubs or Padres as it sits today. 2 seed, you play winner possibly of Mets Dodgers. So does it matter to you the path in which the Brewers go?
Well, I called in, I don't know, maybe a month ago or longer, and I think the Brewers are built for postseason.
Yeah.
When you look at the way they've been playing, and when you look at the point from when Hoskins was hurt, until they went on a tremendous run, probably one of the better runs.
Andrew Vaughn thought he was Babe Ruth. That's why they went on a run.
Big time. And so they Murphy and whoever that scouting department, which I think the Brewers got one of the best farm systems in the league, and they got talent. But what they did, they just went back to playing old school baseball, like the way we was taught. Get a base hit, get a double, try to steal. Everybody's not swinging for
one guys over, sacrifice flies.
Right. And the other thing is, I don't think it's going to make a difference. My thing is, how do we use Yelich, Vaughn, and Hoskins, and do you put all of them on the roster for each round? That's going to be the question.
And if they're all on the roster, how does it look as far as who's the DH, who's playing first base, who's coming off of the bench, right? Are you going to tell Rhys Hoskins, who's been a starting first baseman for all these years, hey, man, Andrew Vaughn or Jake Bauers is going to start at first base, and you're simply going to be a bench hitter in the divisional round of the playoffs or in the NLCS? That there's some of taking your ego, putting it in the back seat for the good of the team and trying to be a team player here and not be a me first guy and pout about it if that's something that occurs.
I don't know with this group. I don't think that's a issue.
I don't think so either.
I think Hoskins understands, and I think Murphy's an old school coach.
Yeah, he is.
And I think he wants to go with the best rhythm, because when you listen to him talk, he's really level-headed.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at one hit at a time, one game at a time. He's not getting too far ahead. When they don't make a good game, he don't make no excuses. And he knows he has a team that can come back. That's the one thing I watch the Brewers. I have watched at least 10 games where I sit down, I turn the TV on, they're down 5 runs. I go warm some food up, they're down by 2 runs. And then you sitting there watching, you can't move, and they win the game. So I just think they're built with the talent-wise to win in the postseason.
Yeah.
If you can steal bases. Now, remember I said something to you before is in the fall of the year when it's getting cold, I do have a concern with some of the players that come from some of the warmer climates. That's real, because this new school player, they don't like playing in the cold. The football players don't like it either. They're like, do you have a dome up there?
Right.
No, I don't know if I want to go there.
Right. But again, this goes back to my point about the schedule. We've talked about this before. The MLB schedule is too long. That's my first point. My second point is the schedule should start in May. That's when we should start this thing, or Easter Sunday or the day after Easter, whatever. But I would say May's when it starts. The schedule should be done by the end of August, and the playoffs should start Labor Day weekend before the NFL plays its first game the Thursday after Labor Day weekend. Kick off that wild card Labor Day weekend, and then you're done and through the World Series and the whole deal by the time we get to October. Then it's this in the playoffs in Milwaukee. And there are no issues of snow at the end of October or early November at that point with a potential World Series. Now, again, you got a roof, so it won't be as bad. But at Wrigley, let's say, or in New York with the Mets or the Yankees, you don't get that, and you might be playing in snow.
That is a concern. And I think going forward, I think people in Major League Baseball, they're looking at that because you have a different type of player now, and they're not. They say, "Oh yeah, that's what y'all did in the old days," but this is 2025.
That's right.
So outside of that, from what I've seen, the base stealing, I didn't know they stole bases like that. I mean, they put pressure on the pitcher,
and then you create the errors and the misplays, right? If you had speed, let's just talk about speed. Forget the stolen bases part first. The speed. You get a slow little roller. How many times have we seen them get a slow roller miss hit, right, where it's just rolling between the pitcher's mounting like third base, just out in front. And because the runner is so fast, the third baseman goes to pick it up and throw in one motion and throws wide to first base or picks it up and holds it because he can't get the runner at first because of the speed. If everybody was the speed of Rhys Hoskins, you would not force those plays. Right. If they were all the same speed as Rhys Hoskins, you wouldn't worry about his leading off. It wouldn't be a distraction. But when you got guys that all seemingly can run outside of Hoskins and Vaughn, that is what changes the game. And I would assume from a managerial standpoint, if you're facing the Brewers, that has to be a talking point.
I think that's a talking point. Don't forget about the pinchers and the bench players. We got some studs.
Yes.
Collins, Monteres.
Well, that's two. I mean, Isaac Collins, right? So he's going to have to start. So now it's Collins, it's Frelick, it's Churio, it's Yelich. Like, how does that, Perkins, all of these guys, what does that look like in the playoffs? What does the everyday lineup look like? All of those are questions. Ram, thanks for coming out, man. We gotta wrap this up.
Thanks for taking up, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate
it.
Go
Brewer, go, bro. Brew Crow.
Go Brewers. That's right. Let me quickly tell you more about our friends over there at Wendy's. I am telling you, if you don't have the Wendy's app, download it today. It is free. It costs nothing. For me, the only thing better than eating Wendy's is earning more Wendy's while I eat. All you got to do is say hello to Wendy's Rewards. The entire menu is up for grabs, too. Whatever food you order directly through the Wendy's app, Wendy's website, or at a restaurant counts. For every $1 you spend, you'll earn 10 points. You can place your order for pickup or delivery with the Wendy's app or website, and you're good. That's literally all you have to do. Mobile and website orders add rewards and reward points automatically. Done and done. It's the best. And so easy, too. How cool was that, Mr. Charlie Usen, having Ram out here, put on a headset, be a part of this whole thing out here?
It's awesome. I love seeing these guys that are calling in all the time, that love the show, and I love talking to them before we even get them on air every single time. Ram's one of those good dudes, and it's really cool to actually get to see him and kind of virtually meet him, I guess. You know,
the funny part about this is that the first thing he said when he sat down, I don't know if you heard him. You probably did because
I did. Mm-hmm.
Did you hear him?
I did.
What was the first thing that dude said when he sat down?
Where's Charlie?
First thing.
Where's Charlie?
First thing he said, where's Charlie? Now, hey, man, nice to meet you, Spark, after all these years. Not wasn't that. It was, where's Charlie?
If he comes out to Natto Auto Parts, the Care, on Saturday the 27th, he can meet me there.
That's absolutely right. We'll be at the Napa Auto Parts store on Highway 100 there. I think that's Greenfield, officially on Highway 100 and Layton Avenue. Come on out, hang out. We'll be doing Wisconsin Sports Weekend there from 9 to 11. Jack Pembroke, Charlie Usen. I'll be guest co-hosting with them as well. Napa Auto Car Care Fair. First, I forgot how many, 50 people I think it is or whatever, get free oil changes as they come through the line. Get car care checks, too, if you have questions about something you're hearing on your car, whatever else. They'll do their best to help you. All kinds of prize giveaways and stuff going on there, too. So if you're in the area coming up on the 27th, that's Saturday morning, come out. You can meet Charlie Houston. He will be on remote. Hey, don't forget, Packers fans, every game counts, so don't miss a moment of the action this season on Prize Picks. Make your picks on your favorite Green Bay Packers and ride with a pack all season long. And as I said before, you can now stack players on Prize Picks, which means you can take Jordan Love and stack Jordan Love. Now you're like, what does that mean? Okay, well, before Prize Picks, you can play Jordan Love, but you couldn't play him like twice in the same lineup. And all we're talking about here is daily fantasy, right? So you're doing more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And then if you get your picks right, you could cash in. And there's a flex play, which means even if you don't get it perfect, you can still cash in at the end of the day and still have a chance to double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So in this stage, now they've said, okay, now we're going to allow you to stack players, which means I can go Jordan Love more than a certain number of yards, and then I can go Jordan Love more or less on passes thrown for a touchdown or yards rushed or whatever else. Now, you still have to add in different players with that. It can't just be him stacking himself. You have to add another player. But that is another cool thing that Prize Picks has added in that you definitely want to take advantage of. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code SPARKY, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code SPARKY, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. All right, that'll wrap it up here for Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Again, our thanks to Milwaukee Broadhouse out here for having us out here. Our thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea with no bubbles to fill you up. It's a perfect game day sipper. Coming up next here at 5 o'clock, our guy Tommy Wirtz is out here. He'll take you up to 6:30, of course, with the lead-up show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, getting ready for Brewers baseball. I get you starting lineups here from Pat Murphy, here from Andrew Wagner at American Family Field. Don't forget shuttles to and from the games at American Family Field going on right now and before every and after every home game here at the Milwaukee Broadhouse in Shorewood on Oakland Avenue. And it's going to be a fun one. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, don't forget, major announcement. We've been building brick by brick. Well, guess what? We're starting to add levels now to this house. We're going to start to build level by level. Screw the brick by bricks. We've got the foundation. Now we're going up. Find out how high we're going up tomorrow at 2 o'clock here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Enjoy the rest of your night. Go Brewers. Toodles!